have you here, Tim. Metin. We are here to talk about MES modernization. It's really in everybody's mind nowadays. What do we need to do to take the MES, the manufacturing execution systems, to the next level? How can you modernize it in a way that is compatible with your existing infrastructure, with your existing processes, with your existing factories? We as Siemens, we see a lot of trends around this regarding building out more modular systems, more systems that you can configure, that you can scale up. That's one of the reasons why we invested so heavily throughout the last years in the Opcenter portfolio, where we really build out a modular approach that is cloud native, cloud first, but not cloud only. That's something we believe strongly in, and we believe in the end-to-end story of not just the MES space, but really the manufacturing operations management, extending to spaces like planning and scheduling, like quality, like the intra-plant logistics, but also linking to things like the PLM systems, Team Center, the IoT, and the shop floor. But that's our point of view. So, Tim, I'm eager to hear what you hear from the industry. What is the things that the market has a point of view that maybe hasn't been the case? Because, I mean, you've been in the manufacturing space for decades. What's the thing that you're seeing?
Well, you make me feel old here. So, MES has always been a part of our manufacturing fabric, but now it's seen as truly the driver of transformation. Like, that is a mindset shift that our clients seeing cross industry, and is really underpinning a lot of like the AI things we were just hearing about, because you need that core manufacturing data in a staged way. To your point, that modular architecture is not even an option, is a requirement these days just to get to the scalability you have across globe. And quite frankly, a lot of us manufacturing folks are pretty uncomfortable with the idea of cloud on the shop floor. That's shifting. We understand and we see folks not asking for it, but actually expecting it as a delivery mechanism. So core manufacturing transformation, cloud-enabled, not cloud-dependent, but definitely as an option.
All right, that's really reassuring, because that's the things we are hearing as well. But maybe, Metin, you want to share a little bit about where you see the trends moving in the next 3 to 5 years from now?
Yeah, MES is system of records, and it's moving to system of intelligence. So what I mean with that is MES is moving towards a system that can actually predict manufacturing bottlenecks, prescribe optimal process parameters, set it in real time, and even self-correct to improve quality and efficiency. And AI is moving. I mean, we have also a lot of new things coming up. I mean, AI-based visual inspection is doing a lot better than human beings, and also AI-based predictive maintenance to minimize the downtime. And one more thing, there's edge computing is getting stronger and stronger, and AI in real time, close to the machine, is actually really enabling the closed loop manufacturing that we are supporting with Opcenter, but more of a closed loop manufacturing that can actually adapt and learn by its own. So I think these things are coming up.
That's absolutely reasoning, and I mean, I like the thought of having more than just the worker's eyes on the quality of the product, and really utilizing AI for doing that. That's absolutely a trend we're seeing, and absolutely a trend that the industry is going. But talking about visuals, Tim, I see a lot of things regarding trends in the shop floor regarding the user experience. Are we finally at a time where it's not just about feature functions, but really making it centered around the human?
Yes, and, right? So the expectation of usability, an experience that your operator is going to have that feels comfortable, natural. You know, we always talk about bringing your home to your workplace. That absolutely is true in manufacturing. And that's where a lot of the AI modernization is going to help us get there. I would also say we're at the cusp of physical AI becoming a much bigger portion of the way we think about making and moving things. Yes. And the role of that interaction model is going to shift, which is why the composability of your MES system needs to be able to adapt to that next evolution as well. So I think on both sides, the user experience, the operators in the shop floor have to have something that feels natural. We also have to prepare ourselves for a spot where that role of the human is shifting as well.
And about this human-centric UX, I have to hint at one thing. In Opcenter, we have this huge advantage that we have a world-leading low-code platform in-house. And we modernized our UX dramatically. We have out-of-the-box role-based process-centric apps that we deliver, and customers love it. They like to actually use them and also to be able to configure and extend easily. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Mendix UIs that we have on top of Opcenter.
No, absolutely. I love that. And it's a great advantage for us at Siemens. Obviously, I often like to say we're standing on the shoulders of giants. We can leverage a lot what we as a company do with world-class user experience provided by Mendix with the leading provider for low-code and extending on that. So that's really great. I think that's one thing that already helps the customers take care of the complexity. And face it, manufacturing is complex. We have to connect also to a lot of different systems. And from my experience, a lot of the customers are actually saying, well, this factory is really special, and this factory is really special. Mm-hmm. And every factory is really special. So, Tim, I'd like to ask you, what's your point of view regarding how to deal with that complexity, especially when you scale MES rollouts and MOM rollouts across multiple factories, and what are the key elements for that from you?
Yeah, there's no doubt this has been the core challenge of manufacturing since we started manufacturing things. Like, I guess Henry Ford got it right, and we lost our path afterwards. There's a couple of things here. One, I would say modern data management has shifted, which is enabling from a bottoms-up way a much different way to think about scalability. You know, your abstracted contextualized data model allows you to connect in a cloud-based MES in a much more seamless fashion. But that doesn't get away from the need for having at least some degree of a global template that then can be deployed and governed in a central way. So you kind of combine the two things together where you manage your shop floor data in a much more scalable way, but you also manage the overall controls and governance from the template in a much more global fashion. Those things together get you the scalability.
Oh, I like that a lot. I mean, it's what we like to say is sort of the global consistency, but also local flexibility. And that's one thing we are really proud of, that our technology about the metadata-driven experience allows you to have these template-based approaches where you can have a global view on things, and then you can have local adaptation to the local processes. And of course, you get the ability to upgrade your systems in a much easier way as well, which obviously is a huge challenge. So maybe since you are one of our prime partners around this, the partner ecosystem is really important to us. Is it something where you feel, what is it that you contribute to these kind of programs, and what is the unique value proposition that you have around it?
So I love our partnership. I think we do a great job together. The thing that Deloitte consistently brings is that manufacturing expertise and understanding. You know, you can't just put in a system or a system's sake. You actually have to drive value and outcomes. Yep. And Deloitte brings those insights to the shop floor. Because, you know, like I was a plant manager. Like that's where I came from. That's what I did. And so I can put myself in the client's shoes and help them navigate through that. Quite frankly, in all these MES transformations and MOM transformations, the technology, no assertion, is the easy part. It's actually the people that's the hard part. Okay. And what Deloitte brings is the ability to people bring through that change and the adoption curve along with putting in the technology itself. I also, by the way, love the innovation you guys bring because it makes our job a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah,
love to hear that. So great. Maybe as a bit of a closing, is there any piece of advice that you want to give to manufacturers how to approach that innovation? Maybe Metin, you go first.
What I would say is during this transformation, don't see it as just a replacement. A fresh look at the process and the existing solutions and how that fit together. And work with a trusted partner and world-leading solution, Opcenter, to define and work on that system of intelligence that can drive your manufacturing for the decade to come.
I would say this is the moment for MES to become the driver of manufacturing transformation, and you need to think about it from a transformation landscape. I mentioned the fact that this is about the people change as much as it is about the technology, but don't forget about the technology. You have to think about scale from day one. I think, Tobias, you said the other day, start small and scale fast. It's 100% correct for these type of transformations. If you bring that global mindset, you bring a people-first approach, the technology will work, but you have to take it in a very kind of a stated way.
And I love that because that's one of the things we as Siemens take as very important. It's both technology and people, and I think those two things, when they come together, that's where the magic happens. So it's really all about that and what we're doing. So from my perspective, that's a great summary that we are invested heavily into, obviously, the portfolio, driving the technology forward, integrating the breadth of it, and really investing into the people, be it at the adaptability and that the shop floor people actually get a great user experience, but more importantly, that they are part of that change process so that you can start rolling it out to various factories and scale. And of course, that's one of the things where it's important to have that ecosystem, the collaboration of working together on these kind of global rollouts that we see across the world. So from my perspective, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate your time, Tim.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks, everybody.